So in the previous lecture, we have discussed about the fixed point iterations, means some basics of fixed point iterations. And we have discussed the procedure also. And in that, we have found that if you have a fixed point form, so that will be the appropriate g of x. If g of x satisfied the three condition. And that are if gx is continuous. And second one is gx maps into itself. And third one is derivative is strictly less than 1 for all the points of this interval. So if these three are satisfied, then you imply this AB has a unique, because these two conditions will imply the existence and this condition will imply the uniqueness. So it has a unique fixed point in AB. So you will ensure that it has a fixed point in this interval. So now how to find the that fixed point here? So that is a second step. Means this is your first step. And in the second step, you have to take one point and then you will find the sequence, which is given by g at pn minus 1, and that will converge to your p value. So this was the procedure. Now here we have taken these three conditions. If these three conditions are satisfied, then we will say that AB that we have taken this interval will gives you a unique fixed point. Sorry. It has a unique fixed point of g of x. Okay, so now we have taken this one part, one side result, means if these three conditions are satisfied in any interval, then that interval will contain one fixed point. Now, what about the converse part? Converse part means if I say any interval, any random interval has a fixed point of this function g of x, then that g of x will satisfy that three conditions. So actually it is not, this converse is not true. Three conditions are satisfied by any g of x on any interval, then that interval will, we ensure that that interval will contain a fixed point. But converse is not true. Means if any interval has a fixed point, then we cannot say that three conditions will satisfied by the g of x. So that this is the converse is not true. If the conditions for the convergence, that is three conditions on g of x of a fixed point are satisfied, then there is a guarantee for the existence and uniqueness of a fixed point on the interval. But if we have one fixed point in the given interval, then the condition may or may not be satisfied. So this is the condition here. Means converse is not true for the previous condition that we have discussed in the earlier lectures. So now can we show that? Means how we can show that if you have a one interval, it has a fixed point, then g of x does not satisfy, may or may not satisfy that three conditions for the convergence. Okay, so let us take one example for this. So which in this example, we will show that this g of x, this we have taken, this particular g of x on this interval 0, 1 has a root, has a fixed point, has a unique fixed point in this interval, but the convergence conditions are not satisfied by this g of x. And I'm not saying this all these three conditions. Means if any one of these three conditions are not satisfied, then the converse will not be true. Any one of the condition will not be satisfied the g of x. So let us check it, that if you take g of x is equal to 3 raised to power minus x on 0, 1. Is it 0, 1 is an interval on the graph? It is here, suppose. Now, can you show that it has a fixed point in this interval? So how to, even though it has a fixed point on this interval, so we can show it graphically. Graphically, the fixed point means where the graph cuts the y is equal to x line. So 3 raised to power minus x, it is here, means if I take 0, it is 1. If I take 1, it will be 1 by 3. If I take 1, it will be 1 by 3. So this, it is like means approximately like this. It is 3 raised to power minus x. So here you can see it has a fixed point in between 0 and 1, where it cuts the y is equal to x line. This is P, exact P. But we have to show this g of x not satisfy the convergence condition on this 0, 1. So let us take the conditions, convergence conditions of fixed point by g of x. So that are three conditions. Let us check it. So g of x is equal to 3 raised to power minus x. Is it continuous function on 0, 1? Yes, it is a continuous function. Continuous function on, because interval is finite, and you can see this is the function and it is defined on this 0, 1. So it is a continuous on the graphic, on the graphs also you can see that it is a continuous function. Second condition, g maps into itself. How to show g maps into itself? Let us take its derivative. 3 raised to power minus x minus ln of 3. So how to find the maximum minimum? It is less than 0 for all x belongs to 0. So if it is less than 0, then you will get g of x is a decreasing function. Decreasing function on 0, 1. On 0, 1 means it is keep on decreasing. So it means at 0 you will get the maximum value. Here you, from the graphics also you can see at 0 it will give you the maximum value, and it is decreasing function. Now, but you will look at only up to 0, 1. This is, don't bother about this graph. So here you can see this is the maximum value and this is the minimum value. And here you can see maximum value of g of x, which is at 0. So this is at 0. 3 raised to power minus 0, it is 1. So 1 belongs to 0, 1. Yes. 1 belongs to 0, 1. So now we find the minimum value. This is at 1 and it is 3 raised to power minus 1. It is 1 by 3. It belongs to 0, 1. So minimum value and maximum value both belongs to 0, 1. It means G maps into itself. Now what about the third condition? That is derivative should be strictly less than 1. So how to check it? Let us take its mode. It is 3 raised to power minus x minus ln of 3. So how to check it? If I taking, because I have to prove that the conditions are not satisfied. You have to show that the third condition means first two conditions are satisfied, but now look into the third condition. So let us take it 0. Means let us check at least at the boundary points. So if at the boundary point it is not strictly less than 1, means if any one of the points on 0, 1 it is not satisfied, then we will say this condition is not true. So let us check at g dash at 0, 1. It is 1 ln of 3. So what it is? This value is greater than 1 actually. And we want strictly less than 1, not even equal to 1. So this is greater than 1. So it means g dash x is not strictly less than 1 for all x belongs to 0, 1. So this way you can show that the three conditions are, or any one of the condition is not satisfied by this g of x in this interval, even the unique fixed point exists in this interval. So it means conditions are only sufficient condition, not unnecessary conditions. Because if conditions are true, then you will always get a fixed point. But if you have a fixed point, then you cannot say the conditions are true by that g of x. Okay.
मैम
Yes.
मैम जो आपने यहाँ पे लिखा है g dash 0 is more than 1, मैम ये वो तो हो सकता है कि ये less than 1 हो जाए.
How?
मैम अगर हम जब वो माइनस का साइन है उसको अगर हम अननेचुरल लॉग के पावर में ले जाएं, मतलब 3 की पावर में ले जाएं -1.
नहीं, you can take more ना.
मैम तो ऐसे तो पॉसिबल है कि हम उस माइनस को 3 के पावर में ले जाएं और वो 1/3 आ जाए.
ln of what?
1/3.
1/3.
तो मैम वो तो लेस देन 1 होएगा.
Minus ln of 3. Is it less than 1?
यस मैम, लेस देन 1 नहीं होगा.
It is a natural log actually.
नो मैम ग्रेटर देन 1 ही है.
मैम ग्रेटर देन 1 है.
मैम इसका मॉड ग्रेटर देन 1 ही हो.
Its mode is greater than 1. It's value
1.098.
1.0. Yes, it will always be greater than 1. Because it is a natural log, not a simple log. No, it is not a base of 10. Yes. So next is, so now we will come to one example that is a main example of fixed point iteration. Means find the root of the equation by using the fixed point iteration method. So with the accuracy of 10 raised to -2. So here we will do a full procedure of fixed point iteration method. So now first of all we have the equation f of x is equal to x cube plus 4x square minus 10 equal to 0. So here you can see interval is not given. You have to find the interval also. So for the interval, if it is a root finding problem, you can find the interval from IVT. So this will be your first step. If interval is given, then you can skip the first step, that to find the interval. To find the interval. Because here interval is not given. So let us find the interval by IVT. Let us take random values. At 0 it is negative. At 1 it is negative, because 1 plus 4 minus 10 it is negative, and f at 2 is 8 plus 16 minus 10, it is positive. So root lie in between 1 and 2. So obviously if you make a fixed point form, then obviously that fixed point for that g of x will lie in 1 to 1. So the root of this equation, f of x is equal to 0, lie in 1. So we will work on this interval only.
आपकी आवाज बहुत लो आ रही है.
So we'll work on this interval only, that is 1, 2. Okay. So, so what is the second step? This is your first step. Next is second step to find the fixed point forms, and to find the appropriate g of x.
मैम आई कैन प्लीज मैं वो पेज रहे करना बैक.
Yes, yes. Here we have found the interval only by IVT.
आगे कर लो.
Yes. Next is to find the appropriate g of x. G of x. So let us find the forms here. First of all, so let us take our easiest one. So first of all, x is equal to, I am taking this f of x is equal to 0. So with the help of this f of x is equal to 0, we are making the x is equal to g of x type equation. So adding x to both sides means this is f of x is equal to 0. So I'm adding x to both sides. So x here, it will gives you x cube plus 4x square plus x minus 10. So that will gives you g1 of x, means any function you can take. So g1 of x is x cube plus 4x square plus x minus 10. Is it appropriate g of x? Because it is a continuous function. So if, but what about the second condition? Means you have to check the conditions also. If all the three conditions are satisfied, then your g of x will be appropriate. So if any one of the condition is not satisfied, then you can leave that g of x and try for the another one. Okay. So now g1x is continuous. This is continuous. Means you have to find only that point where the condition is not true, if that is not appropriate. So let us look at g1 at 1, because we are working on 1 to interval. So let us check at the boundary points first. So if it is not true at least at the boundary points, then we will not go further for this g1 of x. g1. So at 1 plus 4 plus 1 minus 10. So it is not belongs to, because it will be 6. It is minus 4. Minus 4 does not belongs to 1, 2. So you can leave this, because at 1 only it is not going to 1, 2. So you can leave this g1 of x. So don't waste your time on this g1 of x. And then you choose another one. X is equal to x minus x cube plus 4x square minus 10. Again, I have taken negative sign and then adding x to the both side. So that also you can treat it as a g2 of x minus x cube minus 4x square plus x plus 10. It is a continuous function on this interval 1, 2. But if you find g2 at 1, you will get minus 1 minus 4 plus 1 plus 10. It will be 6. Does not belongs to 1, 2. Actually, this is the main condition. Second and third condition is main. It maps into itself, and derivative should be strictly less than. That is difficult part you have to find out. So third one, again, you cannot take this. Third one, any other g1 of x you can try. So x cube plus 4x square minus 10 equal to 0. So let us take x. I can take 4x square raised to power 1 by 3. This can also be treated as a g3 of x. But here also you can see, if I find g3 at 2 or 1, if I take, first of all, it will gives you 6 raised to power 1 by 3. Then 6 raised to power, can you find 6 raised to power 1 by 3 and G3 at 2 will gives you 2 will gives you minus 6 raised to power 1 by 3. So that does not belongs to 1. So you cannot take this also. And fourth one, if I take x square is equal to 10 minus x cube divided by 4. I have taken 4x square into the left side and 10 minus x cube into the right side. So then I can take x as a 10 minus x cube divided by 4. This is G4 of x. Can you try for this? So it is a continuous function. It is a, yes, it is a continuous function on 1, 2, because interval is finite and you will get the finite values on this interval. And what about maps into itself? At least check at the boundary points first of all. G4 at 1. So it is 3 by 2 belongs to 1, 2. And G4 at 2, it is root 2 by 2. So it is 1 by root 2. That does not belong to 1 because it's 1 by root 2 is approximately equal to 0.707. So you cannot proceed with this G4 of x. So if I take another one, x square plus 4x, which is equal to 10 by x. I have divided by x with this equation. So I will get x is equal to 10 by x minus 4x, then square root G5x. It is a continuous function and G5 at 1. Let us check at G5 at 1. So it is root 6 does not belongs to 1, 2. So this way you have to try that which will be the appropriate G of x. So here if I try x plus 4 is equal to, is I can take x square common, which is equal to 10. Then x is equal to I can take this as x plus 4, 10 by x square, and x is equal to 10 by x square minus 4. G6 at 1, again it will be 6 just now let us take 7th one. From here also you can take, if I take x square is equal to 10 by x plus 4, then it will be x plus 4. G7 of x. So let us try for this G7 of x. G7 of x is continuous function on 1, 2. First condition. Second, let us check at least for the boundary points. G7 at 1. It is root 10 by root 2. Root 2 is approximately 1.4 something belongs to 1. And G7 at 2, it is root 10 by root 6. So it is 5 root 5 by 3. Root 5 by 3. What is it? What is the value of this? It belongs to 1, 2 or not? Belongs to 1. So we have checked the boundary points here, but now what about the middle points? Means we have to prove for the all the points of 1, 2, all the points of this interval. So let us to prove for all the points you have to find the maximum value and minimum value of this function. So let us find its derivative. It is minus root 10 divided by 2 x plus 4 raised to power 3 by 2. So this is negative overall. Overall this interval, it is negative. So if any function is negative, if the derivative of any function is negative, then you imply this function is decreasing function. Decreasing function. on 0. Oh, sorry, on 1, 2. So now this function, decreasing function, it means at 1 you are getting the maximum value, at 2 you are getting the minimum value. So maximum value of G7 will occur at G7 at 1. So that is only boundary point that we have already discussed about it, that belongs to 1. And minimum value G7 at 2, that belongs to 1. So this implies G maps into itself. So first of all, you can check at the boundary points. Then you will find out whether it is increasing or decreasing. Then you can find the maximum value and minimum value. If that values belongs to 1, 2, then you will imply that G maps into itself. And don't do this that you find at only the boundary points and then you will imply G maps into itself. It is not the case. You have to either prove it decreasing or increasing. So then you will find out the at the boundary points. You are finding that values on the only at the boundary points because these are the maximum value and minimum values. It is not the case that you just find the values at the boundary point, then you will do. So because it is a maximum value at the boundary points and minimum value at the boundary points. So that's why we are checking only on the boundary points. So that gives you the maps into itself. Now let us take the third condition, that is derivative. Should be strictly less than 1. So its derivative is minus root 10 divided by 2x plus 4 raised to power 3 by 2. Is it strictly less than 1? Overall this 1, 2. So if you are not able to see it that it is a strictly less than 1, you can find double derivative without mod. So if you find the double derivative, it will be positive, because here you can see it is a negative, and if you find its derivative, it will be positive for all x belongs to 1, 2. So if double derivative is positive, which implies G7, its first derivative is increasing on 1, 2. If it is increasing, it means its maximum value of this is that will be at 2. So you have to find this should be strictly less than 1, and minimum value, that is G7 derivative at 1. So let us check at G7 derivative at 2. It should be strictly less than 1, and G7 at 1. This should be strictly less than. You verify this. That will be strictly less than 1 only. So now if both the values are strictly less than 1, because these are maximum value and minimum value, then you will say its derivative is strictly less than 1 for all x belongs to 1, 2. So now all the three conditions are satisfied by this G of x. So it means this is the appropriate G of x, and our second step is over. Okay. So next is third step.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am, there was another possible, like we said, x is equal to x plus c times f of x. It is also possible. Why we didn't check for that one?
Which one? C.
Yes, ma'am. Where like c could take any value.
Yeah, that also can be possible, but there you have to find the C. Means if
So, ma'am, how will find that c?
that,
like-
actually if I take x plus c times, this is the case, na, you are taking
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
minus 10. So this can be your another G of x, suppose. So it is a continuous function. If I'm taking any C is a real number, so that is
Next
a
slide
continuous
kariye.
function. Yeah. Sorry. What happened?
I think someone by mistake unmuted.
Okay. So it is a continuous function. Now, if this is you have to find its derivative. So from that you have to find the C value. Is if G dash x is strictly less than 1 or not, or you have to prove G maps into itself also. So if I find its
Okay.
derivative, means that will be very difficult part. That we will take this example also.
Okay.
So by using means here, that is another question. You have to find the C value such that G of X satisfied that three conditions. So we are looking onto the appropriate G of X. Then we will go to the another question here. So you have to find the C value that G of X satisfied that three conditions. So you can do that also. That is a very time consuming, I think. This is also time consuming, no doubt. But if you do practice, you can you will get the appropriate G of X in just 2 or 3 steps. So now you got the appropriate G of X. So let us take the initial guess. So what should be the initial guess? You have to find the, you have to take 1 point from 1 to interval. So let us take the initial guess. P naught, let us take its midpoint, means 1.5 I can take, belongs to 1, 2. You can take 1, 2, 1.1, 1.3 also. For this, for any number you can take, means I'm taking 1.5. So let us find the sequence. Find the sequence. That is nothing but Pn plus 1 is equal to G of Pn. And here it is 7. You can write it as a G of X also, means this as a G of X. So P1, which is given as G at 1.5, and G is root 10 by X plus 4. Sorry, it will be 1.5. This is root 10 by X plus 4. So can you find this value? If I find this value, it will be 1.3484. And then P2 means if you want to find the accuracy for 10 raised to minus 2, then you check at 1.5 minus 1.3484. It is not less than your tolerance 10 raised to minus 2. When you find the second iteration, it is 1.3674. I'm rounded it above fourth digit here. Then P3. So before that, we have to find P2 minus P1 difference. It is not less than 10 raised to minus 2. Then you find the third iteration. So it is nothing but G at P1. Means I'm putting this point into this function. So again, I'm putting this point into this function, root 10 by 1.3674 plus 4. So you will get the value. It is 1.3653. Just a minute. 1.3649. So here you can see, if I find the difference between P2 minus P3, you will get 10 raised to minus 2 accuracies. Then here you can stop. Means P3 will be over. Otherwise, you can find the P4 iteration. P4 also I have found, that is 1.365. Then P5 1.365. So this way you can find the accuracy. So that will converge to your fixed point. That is a fixed point here. That is fixed point for G of X, but root for the given equation. The root for this equation. This equation. So you can verify your answer also. If you put 1.3652 into this equation, that will gives you the approximately equal to 0. Okay. So this is the procedure. Means if interval is not given, you can find the interval. Then you find the G of X. Then once you get the appropriate G of X, then you take one initial guess, find the iteration. So according to the tolerance, you will stop the criteria. Okay. So now, if the question is that if you don't find any appropriate g of x, so then what will you do? Actually, I will give you one g of x that will always work. That is, if I write x is equal to g of x, so what will be your g of x here? It is x minus f of x, means for this particular function, I can write x cube minus 4x square plus 4x square minus 10. Divide by 3x square plus 8x. So this will always work. But we don't prefer this function because it is a very complicated function. So you have to find this, it should be continuous function. It maps into itself and its derivative is also strictly less than 1. So it is better if you do practice, then you will get the easier g of x than this.
So ma'am, in general, it is x minus fx by f dash x.
F dash x, yes. Actually, it is a fixed point iteration, but actually it is a Newton method. So Newton method is a particular case of the fixed point iteration. So in the Newton method, you will see this formula x minus f of x and divide by its derivative. And you will choose this when if its first derivative should not be 0. Because this is also is of the type x is equal to g of x, because f of x is also equal to 0. So if f of x is equal to 0 and if you choose its first derivative is non-zero, then 0 by some non-zero term will be 0, then x will be equal to g of x. So this g of x will always work. But that is a very complicated. So so it is better if you do practice for these questions, then you will get the appropriate g of x in just 2 or 3 steps, nothing else. Or you can go for the C value also, that one student was asking, that C value. You find the that C value at which the 3 conditions are satisfied. Then you can get the g of x. So next is we have another question. You can try for another question. Now, first of all, if I give you one example, means we have taken those g of x. We have taken those g of x. So suppose we are taking the first step, that is g1 of x, that is x cube plus 4x square plus x minus 1. So it is not appropriate g of x. But after taking any inappropriate g of x, you can go to the second step. Obviously, you can go to the second step if you don't do this step, means if you are not getting the appropriate g of x, then what will happen? Means if you take any random g of x, then what will happen? So I can show you one question here. This is the same question. This is the same question. I can discuss that this is the equation. You have to find the root for this equation, and there are these some forms they have written. This form they have written x minus x cube minus 4x square plus 10. This is the another form of the g of x. This is the another form of, they have taken 5 forms. Okay, so now this is not appropriate g of x that we have taken in the second step, is second g of x we have taken, x minus x cube minus 4x square plus 10. So for this, they have made the sequence also, means they have taken the initial guess. Suppose we are taking this as a g of x, and they have taken p naught, means as an initial guess they have taken. So now they have made the iterations also, that 1.5. Now 1.5 again put into the function, you will get minus 0.875. Then again you put into the function, you will get 6.372. So here you can see the sequence. It is not converging to your fixed point. So this is the disadvantage of the taking inappropriate g of x. If you don't take inappropriate g of x, that the sequence generated from the fixed point iteration may or may not converge to your fixed point. So for the second option, you can take this, means if I take 1.5 means same initial guess and put into the function, you are getting 0.8165. Then in the third iteration, you are getting 2.99. Then here you are getting the complex number. It is not converging. So if you are taking C, means this this equation you are taking, this function you are taking, and if you are taking this sequence by taking the same initial guess, so here you can see first of all you are getting 1.2, then 1.4, then 1.3, means after 30 iteration you are getting the answer. After 30 iteration you are getting the answer. It is so, actually this sequence is converging. It is so because where we have taken this, we have taken this at here we have taken here you can see it is a continuous function, and at 4 it was 1.5, that belongs to 1 2. At root 2 it is 1 by root 2, it is 0.7 something, 0.7 something. So here you can see if I don't take 1 2, means if I just take the interval as 1 to 1.5, because at 1 it belongs to 1 2. So if I don't take 1 to interval, in spite of 1 to interval, I am taking 1 to 1.5. Then if I apply maps into itself condition, if I check the maps into itself condition, then maybe this g of x will work for this interval, because if I check at 1.5, it belongs to 1 to 1.5. So this is the so in this case we are getting the convergence, but it is a very slow convergence in this interval 1 2. So here you can see if I take this interval that we have already taken, this is also giving you the iterations of after 15. Actually the accuracy here they have taken very high, because here you can see they are getting the approximation up to 2 4 6 8 decimal approximation they have taken. But if you find the approximation up to 2 decimal places only, then I think in 4 and 5 iteration you are getting the answer. And in the fifth example also, fifth option, it is Newton method, x minus f of x by f dash x. So this is actually very effective, that you are getting the answer in 4 iterations. But
So now
here
we can always take the Newton formula because we're getting in less number of iterations.
yeah, but here you have to check that conditions also, na? It is a very complicated function.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, if you don't find anyone, then you can always go with the Newton method. That is another method actually. So Newton method is a particular case of the fixed point iteration. So if you don't find any method, any g of x, then you can go with this function at last. At last, if at least you try for the 2 or 3 functions. So if you don't get, then you can go with this function. So can you do this question? Means x cube minus 7x plus 2. This is the form. Can you find the forms for this function? What will be the forms for this function? If I take x, means if I find the interval also, interval x cube minus 7x plus 2 equal to 0. So what will be the interval? F at 0, it is positive. F at 1, it is negative. So f of x has a root in 0 1. So can you do this question? Means you find the fixed point forms, then you find the appropriate g of x, then you find the sequence also. Okay, so that you try for this question and these questions also. This is the same question that we have done for the 3 raised to minus x in 0 1. Now we have x square minus 1 by 3 and 3, 4. And this also you have to find the root for this equation by using fixed point iteration. Any doubt? Okay, first you try these questions, means this second question and this question, this question. If you don't able to do it, then we will do in the next lecture. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.